Hello, everybody. My name is Lewis Lee, and I'd like to wish everybody a happy New Year's. And I hope everybody was safe this New Year's, didn't blow any fingers off or anything like that. How you doing, Ray?
Ray, very good, Lewis. Happy New Year. I stayed safe. We early dinner out with friends, then home to sleep. It was
That's two.
Couldn't have been safer.
That's two. So let me give them a little spill. This is Planning Traffic, and we do this every Thursday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time. And we do it live so we can interact with all of you. So if you have any questions, it's live on Facebook and YouTube. So if you have any questions, just put it in the chat and we can see it and we can go back and forth with you. If we're telling lies, you can call us on it. But if not, then we'll get away with it.
Yeah, then we lie even better. We lie even deeper then.
Yeah, right. So really... this 2014 or wait, 2024.
14.
Yeah, way off.
Yeah.
24.
Right.
It wasn't a bad year, but it wasn't a good year. I mean, we got through it.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff on a lot of different fronts that affected all of us in different ways, some more than others. And I will agree that I think 2025 is going to be a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, I believe so too. Just from talking to different companies at PRI and SEMA, I think things are going to open up. The gates are going to open up, and a lot of people are looking forward to 25. And so am I, because I'm going to do a lot of traveling, and I'll get to go to a lot of the shows that I couldn't make, and see a lot of shops that I want to go to.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a pretty good year.
Good, excellent. Yeah, and now, of course, 10 years of the podcast, which is big. I'm in for 8 of them, which it blows my mind. Where did that time go? But that is back to 2014. 2016 for me. But yeah, time has been flying, and thank God that we're here to keep doing it. We're still doing what we're doing, and
I love it, man. This every Thursday night is my it's like a reset during the week, because I get to talk to you guys, and it really helps out a lot. Some days you're like, oh, I don't want to do it, but then when I get on here and talk to everybody, it gives me a nice reset, man. And I appreciate all you guys that come on, and you, Ray, for helping me out here.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it.
No, I agree, and I go through the same thing with the radio show. There's days like, oh man, it's Sunday again. What am I gonna do? But then you get in there, and it just now you get energized, and now you're like, yeah, of course I want to do this. This is fun. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, now that you're retired, you're getting to stay on a little later, and and have fun with the after show a little bit, which is it's always good. And so very good. Good things are happening.
Yeah, so we made a lot of connections this year for different guests to come on. A lot of people reached out to me, and I was kind of thrown back about that. People like, hey, I want to be on your show. When are you gonna let me on? And blah.
Beautiful.
So
I'd like to find out if we have a guy at OPGI. I know we used to have a guy. I had his name. I sent him an email, and nothing came back. So he probably isn't there anymore. It was
it's Scott, right?
That was Tony Giroux.
Oh, Tony. Yeah, we had him on, right, Tony?
Yeah, we did. And he never got back. So I got a feeling he's not with them anymore. But I'm looking to make kind of a higher dollar purchase with them. And it's, if I could get a little bit of a,
Okay, I'll reach out to them for sure.
All right. Get a little bit of a professional discount. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Put them on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I'll send you my Connect stuff. I'll send you the info.
Great. Thank you.
Yep. Let's see. We got some people popping in the chat. So, I'm really excited about this year for Planning Traffic. I got new swag, and
nice.
Like I said, I talked to a lot of people, and they're excited. They're reaching out to me to come on.
Right. That's great. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. When they ask you, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm trying some new stuff with trying some new stuff with the software.
Right.
As you see, we have the lower third, as they call it.
Yep. Yeah, it's looking good. It is. Yeah, very nice.
A lot of. See, when I was working, I didn't have time to play with this stuff. So now, I can really get in and tinker.
It's interesting, because I went the other way. Since I've been retired, there's days where I don't use my main PC anymore. I don't even come downstairs. It's like I got my laptop upstairs. I can check the mail and do stuff, but I've been like staying away from the computers. It's like when I sit there for too long, I get itchy. Like I don't want to be doing this. I just want to go. I want to be doing something else.
Right.
Let me go break something so I can fix it or pretend to fix it.
Yeah, I see your post, man. You're working on a lot of different things.
Been busy, yeah. Been busy at the shop. Kind of slowed down a little by Christmas. I made sure I cleared myself out so I was done for the holidays because I knew I was going to be doing a lot of stuff at home, a lot of stuff with the family. And now he just called me today, and there's another job that's in there that I got to get on to probably on Saturday. Another truck, more brakes. It's always that seems to be my bread and butter is brakes.
Right.
But I got to be talking to Brian later on tonight. He did sell me a set of tools that I asked him for. It was a when you want to check the fluid in the transmission of the rear end, there's usually that plug, and you can usually put a 3/8 extension in it. It'll fit. Mm-hmm. Well, he told me, hey, we got a set of plug tools. There's male and female that are made for that. And I was like, no fooling. So, we sent them out. I bought them, and I got to use one just yesterday, in fact, on an oil pan, and nice. It's so cool when you say, wow, I got the right tool for this now. And being a tool junkie. I mean, listen, I'm not above using a 3/8 extension in a plug by no means, but it was kind of cool to have the right tool and then be able to use it.
Yeah, specialty tool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
Every man should have every tool.
Oh, let me tell you. And we don't, we really don't. So, but that's what we got friends for.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you got one of these? I got to borrow it. I just did that. I just bought a fuel tank sending unit lock tool from a buddy of mine. So, I'll have to buy one eventually.
You're more of a man to me because I don't loan my tools out to my buddies because they never come back.
It's only certain people that I know and can trust, that it'll go both ways. And other than that, no, it doesn't go out.
Even the guys I trust, I'll trust them with money before I trust them with one of my tools.
Wow. That's something. Yeah. That's something.
It's like something in them that say, oh man, I forgot to bring it back.
Yeah.
Well, forget to borrow it.
I'll tell you something. Years ago, I started doing this where if a guy borrowed, whether it was a CD or he wanted to borrow a tool, and I'd write it down and stick that piece of paper on a refrigerator or something. And now I had a record of it. And it could be like a month later or 2 months, like, what's it? Oh, shit, I never got that back. Hey, yeah. What is that? Whatever it is. Oh, yeah, it's been sitting on my counter. I've been meaning to bring it to you. I'll come pick it up.
My kids don't even borrow stuff off me because I nope.
Yeah.
They're like, don't even ask Dad. We just go buy it.
Yeah. That's funny. It's funny. Yeah.
So Power Tube TV. So we're going to go pretty strong with them this year as well.
Okay.
We had a good time at PRI, and Brian and his wife had a nice party for us, and all the talent showed up there, and we got to meet each other and chit chat.
Nice.
It was pretty cool. So I'm going to have a lot of those people on here on the show, and I'm going to go on their shows. So it's going to be a nice. I believe it's going to be a nice family thing going on there.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good. Yep.
Yeah.
Positive directions.
Yeah.
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 No, I give you credit for really hitting it because you're doing your own stuff, your personal stuff, and you're hitting on this too, which is it's very good. You've got a lot of pent up energy that had to be released, I think, and it's going in the right direction.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And we're going to do some collaborations with cartoons.
Okay.
I just talked to him, so we're trying to figure out some things to do with them too.
Okay.
So we just gonna throw the feelers out and see what comes up.
Yeah. You can see what other people think, and then you kind of collaborate, and it's like clay. You mold it, and play around it, and before you know it, you have something that looks like something. And you say, "Okay, try this." Yeah, very good.
So, all right, let's get the fellas in and see what how their New Year's went.
All right, that's good. There's Paul, Jim. There he is, the side of Mr. Toolman.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Papa Squirrel.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Hey, I just want to say that I'm very proud to see you guys another year.
I think I can speak for the bunch to say we're happy to be able to be here another year.
Right? Don't think for a second to be gone, right?
No, that's right.
I just live one day at a time.
Right.
Yeah, Papa Squirrel, it's good to see you back. Good to see you back in your home digs. You know, you were looking pretty lonely up there at your daughter's place. Yeah, it's good to see you back.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
What's up, Paul? How you feeling? How was your New Year's?
My New Year's was fantastic. We are entering a whole new year with a whole new outlook. I tried to reflect back on all the bad stuff of 2024, and I'm like, it's gone. It's poison. Let it go.
Yeah.
I am starting off 2025 in a very good scenario, mentally, physically, employment-wise. I think it took 2 years. But I think I finally broke the barrier in the state of Texas with some good employment, with some really good people.
Good.
You all can look them up if you want. It's called Lone Star Car Parts. And let me tell you, there's very few people that impress me. You all know me. It takes a lot to impress me. The inventory of this guy's products impresses me.
Yeah.
I was amazed. It took me a hard time to break the barrier with them, and it kind of happened on a cold call. I just was driving by his place, and I was in the Model A's, and I just pulled in and kind of caught him off guard. We talked. We came to an agreement, and the next thing I know, I'm outside of my comfort zone. I didn't necessarily agree to do it, but I agreed to do it. And what this gentleman has is enough brand new sheet metal to assemble 67 to 72 C10 cabs. Roughly maybe 15 or 20 of them. He's got that much sheet metal laying around in inventory in his warehouse. So I agreed to put together a cab, see what I could do. And Lewis, I'll send you some pictures. This thing's turned out amazing.
Yeah. I might have my eyes on a C15.
Well,
yeah,
I got every part in the warehouse, or I don't. My boss does.
That's great.
Apparently, he travels the country to a lot of these events as a vendor. The Good Guy shows, and he's going to be in Carlisle. So,
now, does he make the panels, or he just has a big selection or big
he's got
stock?
Good selection for whoever's supplying him. I don't know who's supplying them, but I didn't look at the name on the box when I was unboxing stuff.
Okay, nice. I'm glad that's working out for you. I know you're a little stressed down there a little bit, but
no, I'm still a little stressed, but. I don't want to go too far out on a limb. God never gives us too much more than we can handle. So
that's the truth. That's the truth.
Push you to the edge, though. Make you say, "What the hell's going on here?"
Makes you want to think. Should I jump?
But no. It's Texas. Mentally, has been very good for me. Financially, it probably hasn't been the best, but it's still an adjustment and. The money in the Northeast is still there. This man that I'm going to work for has been understanding enough to know that, hey, when they call on me in the Northeast, I'm going to jump. Yeah. I'd like to have a job when I come back.
That's good. That's good. Well, I mean, that shows your abilities. You know what I mean? Your work ethic. If they're to let you come back, if you got to jump, you can come back. So that's great.
I don't abandon anybody. I'll follow through with whatever I say I'm going to do, and I'll give you notice. I'm not going to stop in the middle of a project, but when it gets to the end of that project before I start another one, I'll run and do something else.
All right. Now, have you found that working on a truck's a little bit easier because everything's bigger and open?
To be completely honest, and I believe I've made this statement on your show before, It's all a jigsaw puzzle. It's all sheet metal. It's all puzzle pieces that fit together a certain way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And if you treat everything like the Ferraris that I used to work on, it doesn't matter if it's a Dodge Dart, a Yugo, a Ferrari. They're all pieces that all have to go through the same. It all has to start, stop, steer when done. So make it all fit. Make it start, stop, and steer.
Yep, that's the key. That's great. I'm glad you found a spot.
I believe I have for a while. And he's talking long term with some of these projects that he's wanting me to get into. So I can see this being, and it's only 20 minutes from my house.
Oh, that's a blessing.
I have been coming home for lunch most days.
Yeah. That's a real good feeling, right?
That is a good feeling, yes.
So I think I'm going to be around your way, maybe the end of February.
You locked up?
Yeah, he locked up.
At least he's smiling. He usually doesn't.
I'm going to be down your way, then all of a sudden it freezes.
It's that budget internet again.
Oh, man. It's the weather because I got the Starlink.
Yeah.
I think a cloud came over and blocked my signal.
It was probably just a rogue drone.
Yeah, who knows,
Target
man.
practice.
Yeah. See, I started spending money on my internet. Now it goes south. When I was stealing it, I had perfect internet.
Exactly.
All right, so you said you're going to be my way possibly when?
I think somewhere in February because I want to come through to Signature Solar.
Okay, I would be, and I was going to bring this up to you at some point. I just might as well do it now. It would be awesome, Lewis, if you could get to Tulsa mid-February for the Starbird show.
Mid-February, Tulsa.
February 14th, Valentine's Day. Come on to Tulsa.
14th. Okay. Yeah, I might be around.
In another 4 hours south, and you're at Signature Solar.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that on the board because we got a couple things. My son is having another child in January, so that's kind of putting when we're leaving on that because we got to kiss the baby before we leave. So,
Definitely. This is your second grandson?
No, this will be my sixth grandkid.
Wow.
So my daughter has 4, my son has 1. No, wait. I said that wrong. This will be our 5th. This will be our 5th. No, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it'll be our 6th.
They keep busy in Ohio.
But this will be the first girl.
Stop drinking the water. I don't know what you guys are doing down there.
Yeah, right.
Stay out of the hot tub.
When you don't have to use your mind when you're retired, you start to lose things.
Oh, let me tell you, you'll be
I'd lose it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this will be number 6. It'll be the first girl of the bunch.
That's the one you're going to spoil.
I like them all. They're all pretty cool. I mean, you can feed them junk and send them home.
Right.
There you go. No, Class, what part of Texas are you in?
It's called Picton, Texas. I'm in the northeast corner. I'm 100 miles from Texarkana, 100 miles from Dallas.
Okay. I got an idea where you're at.
Good, because I don't.
Northeast.
Later.
Now, are you northeast of the side of Texas or the top of Texas?
I don't know. They call it Northeast Texas.
Yeah.
It's that upper corner of Texas. I'm 100 miles from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
I can be in Arkansas in under 2 hours, Louisiana in under 2 hours.
Okay.
I'm towards the eastern side, towards the north.
Okay. How's the prices down there for land? per acre?
For land, they're starting to go up, but it's still very affordable around this area. Now, I can tell you this: where I am, land prices took a skyrocket jump because the solar farm's going in 10, 12 miles from here, and the lithium mine is 15 miles from here. And the proposed site with the lithium mine, that's also going to be some big music venue and hotels and, like, you know, a miniature city is going to be developed out here by the lithium mine.
Well, I love the fact that they always claim we didn't have lithium in this country.
Right. That's right. It was all in Africa.
Yes.
Well, one of the biggest deposits in the world is 15 miles from me.
Yep.
Africa's cobalt.
And diamonds.
And diamonds.
Oh, I got diamonds within 100 miles of me. Crater of Diamond State Park is less than 100 miles from me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go dig for your own diamonds. They found some good sized diamonds.
Look, guys, you should know by now. This is why we're greedy Americans. We want everybody's else stuff, but we're not going to touch ours because it's
right. That's right.
Special.
Right. So we'll buy up the
you know.
petroleum from Saudi Arabia until they're dry.
Yeah, good luck. I mean, but that's us. That's why everybody hates us. Why use ours when we can use yours? And if you don't like it, we'll take it.
I just think it's good business.
Yeah, good business.
Isn't that why they call it capitalism?
Well,
I don't know. That's how I was taught in school.
Well, I think you were taught correctly. Because I remember the government and all that saying, we're going to run out of oil in a few years. And let's see, this was...
Yeah, they said that in the 70s.
Yeah. We're going to run out of oil. There's no more oil in the... You know,
Yep.
And they also said in the 70s that we were going into an ice age or a mini ice age. And then, 5 years later, they declared global warming.
Yep, I remember
and here
that
it
one.
is. I'm in Texas and I'm freezing.
And I'm in New York and it's warm out. Yeah.
So I've been trying to figure out this global warming. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't. So, Lou's talking about things for 25 and projects and where people are going. And the quiet guy in the corner over there has a project that's supposed to kick. Yeah, that's the guy. It's supposed to kick off in 2025. Why don't you talk about that a little bit, quiet guy?
Let's go.
Well, let's see. There's a motor sitting like about 10 feet that away that I got a really good deal on. Unfortunately, the funds for the project dried up rather quickly. So now I got all these parts laying around and now no money to do it.
What engine did you get, Jim?
It's a Golan Engineering 396.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, one of the guys from the car club, this was his motor and his Impala. Raced it, hurt it, pulled it out, gave it to an engine guy, and let it sit there for a bunch of years and never did anything.
Wow.
Finally, he got together and he's like, you know what? I'm going to go LS.
Right.
So he built an LS motor at LSA and was selling this and was selling it cheap and started talking to him because 9 times out of 10, the Impala SS forum is where we get all our parts for the Impalas and the wagons and stuff.
Right.
And every time I go on there and I'm looking at something and I'm like, damn, this guy's in California, this guy's in Florida, this guy's in Chicago. I'm like, I can't get nothing. And I look at this and I was like, man, this looks like a really good motor. And I was like, it's probably someplace else. And I look, it's on Long Island. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, wow.
So I called him. We got and the only reason why the motor was like halfway built. The engine builder just put it on the side. Said, you know what? I'll get to it when you get the money for it. So basically, he sold it for the fund to build his LS motor. So we came up with a good deal, and I went out and got it.
All right, so the motor is ready to go.
96. Yeah, pretty much.
So what else? What's the stopping? What's stopping you now? What else? What do you want to do? A tranny or what?
I actually have a tranny. A buddy of mine built a tranny for me.
it's getting better and better. So what's the stopping point here? Because that sounds like it's ready to go.
Yeah, just about. But I need a bunch of stuff I need for the motor. Going to need headers. Going to need exhaust. I do want to do the front end on the car because everything is 30 years old now. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, I'll tell you this: the front end stuff is all available, and it's not that expensive, really.
Well, the funny thing is, I want to update. I want to go QA1.
Okay, so even if you update,
and I'm comparing the prices, and the prices for QA1, they're more, but they're not a lot more.
I mean, there's stuff that's gone up. Oh man, what's that? There's a place that makes suspension stuff. I saw them up at the open house for one of the restoration places for I forget the name. But they're making tubular control arms and all. There's a lot of companies now making tubular control arms that are a little bit more of the budget price range because they don't have the big name,
Okay.
But they're using the same ideas as everybody else, and they're from what I hear, they're making a pretty good product.
Just left it.
And that's all easy switchover stuff. That's all.
Yeah, it's just a matter of pulling a trigger and starting to do it. But
you got to be able to lay the car up. Yeah,
that's a big thing.
That's the first thing. Yeah. So that's what I got to tell you, wife, hon, I got to go buy another car so I can work on this one.
There you go.
Like, what? No, listen, really.
I'm working on that.
Take this one apart. Oh,
I'm working on that. My present company vehicle is a 2011 Ford Escape.
Okay.
And it's 2011, 2025. It's at 14 years old now.
Right.
And I keep nudging my boss. I was like, hey, I got a 14-year-old car. You think we can do something about that? He's like, yeah, when we start making money. All right.
There you go.
That's famous last words, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, tolling business is cutthroat to say the least. And there's always something going on. Of course, now the big thing is congestion pricing here in New York.
Oh yeah.
Which is back on.
The only thing I can hope is that only thing I hope is this governor gets the hell out of there. We get her to freak out. We
got 2 more years before that. Let's see what happens this year with the mayoral election.
Right.
He's figured out. Oh man, I'm screwed.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. Very true. But
New York's always seemed congested. What's new?
Yeah.
Now they're going to charge for it.
Yeah. Now they're going to charge you for it. Right.
They're trying to follow England.
Yes.
London,
yes.
That's exactly where it started.
That's the model. Correct.
Yep.
And the funny thing is, they've been working congestion pricing in New York City for 20 years now. But they never really got it going until this latest thing. And the one thing nobody knows is that the congestion pricing system has been turned on for a year now. But they're not collecting any money because it's not set yet. So all they got to do is throw the switch, start the program that says, okay, start charging people.
Yeah.
And off they go.
Yeah.
It's a disaster waiting to happen.
I know. Well, we got to vote the right way. So, all right. So your project is on kind of like a hold with hopes. Now the guy in my other corner on that side up there, that one is smiling. That's the guy. Let's hear that update. We want to hear that project update because that's what we're doing.
I'm a little behind. I've cleaned out. I've got a lot of space. I'm trying to move the car. It's been one of my. I put the suspension back on so I can roll it out, but I'm looking, believe it or not, for a 14. I need a 14-inch tire so I can mount it on a rim so that I can get it out. And
Facebook Marketplace.
No.
Well, I don't want to pay nothing.
Brian,
I
Brian,
don't want to pay nothing. I'm going by, and I thought I could go dig through a tire pile, and a 14's like zilch.
Relax.
Now the Mustang I'm working on.
I'm gonna set you in the right direction. That's really close to you. How would that sound?
Well, it depends, but I'm in Kensington tomorrow, so.
Oh, you're in Kensington tomorrow. Message me your phone number, and I will see if we can actually get you that tire somewhere in the alleyway behind I guess firehouse in the alleyway still there.
Yeah, I've dug around all the tire piles, and all I want is a 14. And
It's no over on Brookville Road.
Radial tire.
Yeah. Did you ask Paul if he had one?
Yeah.
You know, Brian, I asked the guy, the Mustang I was working on, we were talking about tires because he wants to buy, he has rollers on the car, and they're 14s. And he bought, I said, these are brand new tires. Where'd you get them? He said, Mavis. It was like, $35 a tire. So maybe they, look in their back lot. Maybe they got something.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm almost. A buddy of mine told me, for $45 you get a tire. I was just trying to do it on the cheap. I mean, I was just trying to find a tire because I just wanted to roll it out.
Yeah, when you need a roller, you just need something to.
So here's what I'm seeing. That's a way to hold off moving along looking for a tire.
No, but he's motivated now, Lewis. He is.
I just dug the rear housing out, the 9-inch. There's only like 3 things that I want to make sure that I get done while it's in the shape that it's in. You know, I got the torque boxes lined up so that I can weld in before I put anything else. So I got torque boxes to put in. I want to swap over and put the 9-inch in instead of with the 8, having that. And I've got one section on a frame rail that I need to patch, fix, or repair. And
So
after
you're
that,
2 years away from needing a tire.
but I gotta move the car. I've got to move the car, Paul. I've got to move the car. The car has to roll out. I need to be able to move it. I don't have a stationary place for it.
All right.
I do not have a stationary place. And when I go to weld, I need to do it outside. I'm not doing it in the garage. It's hard to believe I've thrown 15 bags of trash away in this garage, but I still have tons of family storage in the garage.
Yeah.
And if I'm welding, I cannot have that anything. Because my luck, the luck of the Irish, is I will blow up something that was not.
Message me your number. I'll get a hold of Greg. I think there's a few 14-inch tires over at Greg's over at the Jag shop.
The Jag shop.
Yeah, it's the private shop that I work at when I come up there.
Yeah. I just, like I said,
that's Mink Hollow Road, so that's only 8-10 miles from you.
Yeah, Mink Hollow.
Yeah.
That's in Howard County, right?
He is on the Howard County side. It's both Montgomery County and Howard County.
Man, it's been a long time since I've been up that way.
Brighton Dam.
Yeah. But like I said, man, digging through tire piles, man, I thought and the thing that really irks me, and of course, as you can tell, I save everything. I changed, this was end of last year or whatever. I changed my daughter's tires. She had 14s on them, and I had them laying around here forever until I finally took them to the dump. And I never even thought of it at the time because I figured, I can find these things. I'm out and about.
Hold on. Isn't there an independent trailer place on New Hampshire Avenue?
Not anymore.
Oh, okay.
That guy's gone. That was a long time ago, Paul. You had a flashback.
It's kind of funny, Brian. Because my car is back in the shop now for some paint work. And one of the things I want to do is take off my right rear wheel because I stupidly left it loose when I was doing some other work, and I kind of damaged the lug holes a little. So I want to see if I can get a replacement. And what I have the Rally 1 wheel sitting in my storage garage, 4 of them with 14-inch tires on them, and I threw one of them on as a spare. So I have a 14-inch tire, but it's only 3 hours away.
Just roll it down the street. It'll make it.
You should meet for lunch. Yeah, roll it down 95.
Yeah, let me borrow it. But I gotta move the car. I mean, I know it sounds funny, Paul, but I gotta be able to move the car out when I weld in those torque boxes. Like I'm not going to do it.
Is Billy Cole still working out of that shop on 198?
No.
Shop? Is
No,
that
he's
shop
gone.
still there?
Yeah, Gary.
I don't. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
his name was Gary. Billy
Yep,
Cole was
Spencer-
working
yep.
with him.
Yeah, it's Spencerville Repair or Spencerville Auto. Yeah.
Billy's
I
probably
see.
got some 14-inch tires.
I don't know. He's it's Billy's a different person.
I mean, you think about it. What runs a 14 these
I was
days?
just-
Either,
I was sitting there thinking.
either an older car. Well, they're all older cars. Even
Yeah.
even the Japanese stuff, it's older. They went to 15s in the late 90s, you know, and then like right to 17. So yeah, there's not a lot of cars that have them, unless
No.
it's an older rig. But,
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, because I'd see them laying around. And the funny part is, like, I have a handful of places, gas stations that used to have all these tires hanging up on the wall.
right.
You know, it's been there
Yeah.
for 20 years. You know,
Yep.
there's no, you know, and I made a comment one time. I was like, you're never going to sell those. I mean,
No.
you'd be crazy to put one on a car. You
Right.
know,
Because of the heat, they're all
well, just been sitting for 20 years, just because
Exactly.
you know. I mean, you know,
up in the hot
tires.
part of the shop. Yeah.
And sure enough, I gave the guys enough of a hard time. I go, what happened to all your tires? They're all gone. I was like, damn, I just wanted a 14. I just want one to roll on. I'm just
I
not
know. See,
driving.
I'm looking for a 15-inch tire that I can use as a front spare because a 15 will clear the disc brakes, a 14 won't. And I'm going to have to carry two spares, but that's okay. And I'm having the same problem finding a 15-inch tire that's, you know, not going to kill me.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I was just looking for something cheap. But yeah, I've got and the only other thing, like I said, well, in Jim's case, like Jim's, I've probably got 60% of all the parts laying around here are laying around. That was another thing I talked to you about on the radio, is that years and years ago, I filled the car up with I thought I filled it up with all the parts.
Right.
And, you know, I go digging around and messing, or I go to my mom's and there's a box of parts that
Right.
I thought that was with the car, and it's not.
know.
I mean, I'm finding stuff all over the place.
And like most of us, you have 60% of the parts, but like 3 times over. Because
yeah, well, I made that mistake too. I bought a lot of the same parts over.
We
and
all
over.
do. Yeah, I got 3-4 of them. Like, oh man,
But
that's just the way it is.
I want to get the 9-inch in, and I wanted to weld in the torque boxes before I did anything with.
And is it an 8-inch that's in it now?
Yeah, it's an 8-inch.
Do you know what gear set it has?
What gear set do you want?
I want something in the 2s. I live in Texas.
Oh no. I've got. Well, I might have a set of 286s.
Yes, 286 to low 3s.
I got 286. I got 325s.
325 is what I'm running now.
410s and 513s.
No. I live in Texas. 513s. I wouldn't be able to get out of my driveway before it was tacked out.
Yeah, I have a handful of. And the 9-inch, all I have is what was in the link. It was the rear end came out of a Lincoln for sale. It was a 4-wheel disc. That's the reason why I want to get the 9-inch in, because it'll be the 4-wheel disc.
So, do you think this would be your year to?
I hope.
What?
I hope. I'm trying. I mean, like I said, I had a little bit of a hang up. Like I said, I'm on my scheduling. I'm like 2.5 weeks behind.
Yeah.
Where I want to be, but I had a snag. I tell you, I'll be really honest. I am in a little bit of a money crunch, thanks to my stupidity with the state of Maryland. But I got to clear that up. I mean, that's my biggest thing is getting that cleared up.
Yeah, it's important.
Hey, Paul.
So,
Paul, how far are you from Fort Worth?
From Fort Worth,
Yeah.
basically 2 hours.
Did you hear about the big car pileup?
My wife was trying to tell me something about that, and I couldn't figure out what that was all about. But it almost looked like they were driving on ice.
Yeah, man. It looks like probably a 40 or 50 car and truck pileup.
Yeah, I don't know what went on or what happened.
Yeah, people just kept coming. I don't understand when you see brake lights ahead of you, why you wouldn't start to slow down.
Right.
It's unbelievable. People are.
It's like flies to a flame.
Yeah.
It's like stupidity all of a sudden takes over your common sense.
Yeah, I was in one years back. I was in a tow truck, and so I'm going around this bend, and where you can't see around the other side of the bend, but you're starting to see lights, brake lights. So I cut on my beacon, and I pull over to the side, and I'm seeing these cars come, and they're hitting cars, boom, boom, and I'm trying to wave my flags. I'm outside the truck waving flags. I'm on the side of the road with my tow truck with the lights on, right? People still wasn't slowing down. I'm trying to slow people down. They're coming around the bend, just hitting, boom, boom, boom.
Oh, man.
I just don't understand.
You can't fix stupid.
And there's a lot of it on the road.
Yes.
and a lot of people do not look far enough ahead.
No, nobody does.
Nobody looks far enough ahead.
They don't look past their phone.
And that's usually the biggest problem.
When I see a brake light, I'm touching. I'm like, why are they slowing down on the freeway?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I constantly, when I was with the girls, when I was driving with the girls, I'd say, look ahead. And they're like, what? I keep looking.
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
look up here.
Right.
I said that by the time as fast as you're going and the amount of ground that you're moving, you've got to look up here instead of here.
Right, because you're going to be there in a second.
Yep.
I've got one that does Mach 1, and I told her, I said, you need a telescope. You need to be looking like 2.5 miles ahead.
Right.
Because by the time you react, you're already ran over, past, gone, and into the next city.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Model A, when I drive that car, especially late at night, but on the darker roads where you are relying on your headlights, I have an issue that I can outdrive my headlights in that car. And a lot of people don't understand what I mean when I say that. They're like, well, your headlights are always in front of you. The road is lit up. But it's the fact that you can't see as far ahead as you need to be seeing to operate the car safely.
That's a given. That's why I don't like driving Ignite anywhere where people are hauling ass, because I'm waiting on them to hit me.
Yeah, that's a big issue too. I used to drive limousines 30 years ago, and one morning I was driving to Kennedy Airport on the Van Wyck Expressway, and it was winter. It was rain, snow, sleet, and of course it's rush hour. So I'm like already on heightened alert, and I'm driving, and I realize, man, these people are driving stupid. What is going on here? And sure, there was a Mustang like next to me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. So I ease up just a little bit. Just as I ease up, I see the Mustang punch it, get into my lane, and slam into the car in front of him. And I instantly slammed on the brakes on the limo, and I stopped just in time. The passengers look at me like, how did you know that was going to happen? Like, dude, that's part of driving. You got to look at everything around you.
You got to read your surroundings.
And driving a stretch car was that extra step that, like, you really got to be careful with that because you're that much heavier.
Oh, yeah.
And you got X amount more hanging out too.
Yeah. Yeah. They were
when the girls would drive the tool truck around, I'd tell them, remember, you got 18 extra feet back there. It's a little long.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing how many people forget about that.
Yeah. It's we had. I was funny. We were in the shop. I was in the shop today, and this guy stopped in at the gas station to talk to make an appointment or have him looked, and he had just bought a Sprinter van. One of those Sprinters, and it was a couple years old that he had bought, but he had bought it, and he has wiped out like the last 4 feet of the van on the back, both back sides. And he did it when he left there because he went to turn and hit the pole around the gas pump,
Sure.
And he's like, man, I haven't learned. I was like, that his extra 4 feet hanging off the back there from what he used to drive. You just got to pay attention and know what you're doing. But it's funny seeing those back half of vehicles all wrinkled up.
For sure.
Don't people look in their side mirrors any?
Side mirror.
The object appeared close, so I had room. Don't worry.
I see people come onto the freeway on an on-ramp and never look in their mirror. Never look left.
Nah,
That's
it's their
normal.
road.
Yeah.
They come on the freeway, they're not going to they never look, and they don't speed up until they get on the freeway.
Yeah.
After they've cut you off or made you slow down or tried to pull into the side of you. I've been threatening to put air horns on the side of my truck so that when they're coming into my side, I can let them know that they're coming there.
I want one of those punching arms on the side so I can drive by and just punch
Boink,
the car. What are you, dumbass? Boink.
Yes.
Flamethrowers.
What's
Flamethrowers to the side.
this side mirror thing you talk about?
Side mirror. That's right.
Yeah, what is that? Never heard of such a thing.
On the 66 on the Mustang, I never had side mirrors. I never had mirrors on the side of the car, And I had a mirror that was down on the floor, so when I got pulled over, I just set the mirror because on the Mustang it has that little loop in the door, and I'd set it up on there, and we go through all the BS, and when the cop said I'll be back with your ticket, he'd walk back to the car, and as he's walking back, I'd take the mirror off and throw it back on the floor, And I had one cop. This one time he came up and he went to give me the ticket and tell me where to sign. And he put his hand like he was going to put it on the mirror. And he goes, wasn't there a mirror just there? I said, oh, hold on, officer. I said, here, put it back on. That guy looked at me and said, what the hell? I said, it interferes with the flow of the car. I don't like the
aerodynamics are disturbed.
He came back with another ticket. He added one more thing.
Oh, we have more, yeah.
You should have asked him. You've been drinking? There was no mirror there.
Yeah.
He's got you at that point. Maybe you get lucky and he had a few on shift.
I hated mirrors. Mirrors and front tags. Never had a front tag on the car. And I had taken the tag off. And, of course, the one time my dad drives my brother's car, I had taken the front tag off that. And my dad gets stopped, gets a ticket or, warning. And, of course, I get home, and the first thing my dad says, he goes, do you have to have he goes, I got pulled over because I didn't have a front tag on the Volkswagen. And I said, well, it's in the back. It's in the trunk. And he goes, well, is it mandatory? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, none of your cars have them. And I said, yeah, I hate them. Yeah. he goes, well, do you get pulled over? I said, yeah, all the time. He goes, well, why don't you just put the tag on? I don't like it. So.
Right.
Texas has had front tags since I was driving, and that's been a long time ago. I don't care anything about it.
Yeah, we just got rid of ours maybe like 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I hate front tags.
I don't have a front tag because I'm using a loophole. I'm using a special plate, a World's Fair plate. And in certain years in New York, there was only one tag. And the World's Fair years was one of those stretches. You got to have a 64 or 65 car. And they only issued one plate. that went in the back, and because they put a World's Fair plate on the front. Well, you can put whatever you want in the front. So,
Yeah.
and plus, it's cool. So it's a black plate, so it looks like a California plate. It's kind of
When I bought my 5.0, my Mustang, at Pennsylvania, they didn't have they only had one plate, so I didn't have the bracket or anything. I went over 10 years without it. Only got pulled over twice for not having a tag on the front.
That's the thing. Now that it's totally legal and legit, and I'm waiting, like, pull me over, and like, I want to get that young cop to say, hey, what's with the one plate? It's black. It's stolen from California, whatever. And just to tell them, no, officer, look, this is legit. It's really legit. No, I'll never get pulled over. Never. Never.
I'll ride with you. I'll come up and we'll get pulled over. Don't worry.
I was going to say, I'll visit. The FBI will come storm on your place.
Yeah.
All right,
don't worry. I'll help you out.
Hope to see you next week.
All right, Paul.
Lewis, I'll be in touch, and we'll go from there.
All right, sounds good, Paul. Thanks.
Take care, Paul.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you want to get in trouble? I'll stop by. Don't worry.
So, Brian, I guess you heard, speaking a little bit of tool talk, I had to do an oil change on the boss's new Silverado pickup. And, I raised it up, and I'm like, okay, what's the oil drain? And I'm like, huh? It was a flush plug. I'm like, whoa, it takes a square drive. I'm like, hey, I got one of those tools now. So I went and grabbed it. And I tell you, what they're doing on these new engines, it's a 4-cylinder. You put the drive in, it's literally a quarter turn.
Yeah.
Just a quarter turn. And
was
it's
it a plastic? What was it? A plastic plug?
Plastic. Yeah. With an
Yeah.
O-ring. Why did I get fuzzy?
I don't know. I was getting ready to say I haven't had anything to drink. Yeah.
That happened once before. Maybe because I put my hand too close. I don't know. Refocus. Oh well.
Yeah.
You started talking about last week, and you went into fuzzy mode.
Yeah.
You were drifting back into a memory.
That's because I'm using fuzzy logic. Yeah.
You know what? Put your hand over it for a couple seconds, and then come back to the refocus.
Check my lifeline. Really liking it.
No, it's still it just wants you to be fuzzy.
I guess so. All right. So maybe I've been drinking. Why not? So, Brian, the moral of that story is, it's never too late or never too soon to buy a specialty tool because, like I said, I could have used an extension. And actually, I did. I used an extension, like a locking extension, which I wish I didn't do because as the oil dripped all down, it got into the ring of the locking extension.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there spraying with brake clean, and the oil is just not coming out. But it was
nice.
Let
it drain for a day and a half.
Yeah, but it was nice to have the. I love when I get a tool like that and I can use it fairly right away. It's like I hate when a tool sits for 6 months or so and you haven't used it yet. I'm like, damn, why did I buy this?
Usually with Murphy's Law, with that, you buy the tool. I like it. Well, for me, it was, if you use it 3 times, you have to buy it. So you borrow it 3 times. Within a week, and then you buy it, and then it sits for 6 months because you don't get another one of those jobs, and you're like, yeah, I can't believe I spent all this money or whatever. I like when you can use it that way.
Hey, Coach, how was your New Year's?
I think I can do about
Mine
that.
was pretty good. It was quiet, just me and my wife. My son came over like 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, but my daughter went to her boyfriend's family's house and just left me and my wife, and we set off a couple fireworks, but our one dog was having a hard time with it, so we knocked it off, and then I spent most of the evening. We were watching some of the programs, where they talk about the year and whatnot, and and then I sat there with the dog next to me, trying to keep him calm,
Nice.
But it was good and quiet. I mean, I remember back in the day, I'd want to go somewhere and go out at I'm past that. I mean, if I have a close friend that, I have a couple friends that live not too far, and once in a while they'll say, hey, we're getting together. I might head down there, but that's about it. But it was good.
Me and the wife, we were talking, and we probably haven't been out in 15 years, I bet.
Yeah.
We stay at home and fall asleep before the ball comes down, and wake up and go back to sleep.
Like I was saying, we got together with a bunch of friends for dinner beforehand. We went for an early dinner, and then like it was already agreed. Everybody just goes home. You know, we're not going to go over to your house. No, everybody's just going to go home and then do their own thing. And it was the best. It was the best. Really was the best idea. So
I was in bed by 9, and I woke up. Unfortunately, I woke up at 3 to see that fucking mess in New Orleans.
Oh yeah. You know, not to get into that, but can you believe that it was one of the guys in charge down there had the balls to say they have the highest level and degree of protection and security that's needed. I was like, yeah, a wooden fucking sawhorse, and they had a $40 million budget for safety improvements.
Well, that's I mean, to get into that they got caught with their pants down because you know when the chief of police was saying, you know, they had this secured and this and this and that and was barricade. And there's a guy that they went to interview this guy, and he said, "What are they talking about? There was no." And you know, he shows a picture from his phone, and they're like
around the sidewalk, yeah.
So then that's why when you watch the interview, I mean the press conference thing at 6 a.m, I guess it was actually a little later. It was that, you know, well, we're going to tell you the truth,
right?
And it's like, well, you should have started that at the beginning,
right?
And then of course it came up. Well, the pylons are in, but they haven't been finished or not improved. Right. They're not working. And, you know, and don't say that you had them. Don't say that you were using them.
Right. Now,
you know, this canvas.
You know, one of my theories is why, you know, nothing happened in New York. New York is so locked down. There's cameras everywhere. They put, you know, 50-ton dump trucks filled with concrete at every side street. I mean, you can't get through. It's like,
now I've been to Mardi Gras. I've been to Mardi Gras before. Okay. And they've had trash trucks down there.
Yeah.
You know, in certain areas blocking. Now, granted, for whatever reason, I mean, and you know, I get irritated with the newscasters or the reporters because they say, well, why wasn't this done? Well, you know, see, the problem is you cannot think normally. These people that do this are not normal.
Right.
So, you know, you would say, well, you know, you blocked off the road. Why would anybody ever drive on the sidewalk? You know, that, I mean, that's a normal person thinking, why would anybody drive on the sidewalk? But these people don't think normal.
That happened in it was Jersey just a couple of years ago. It happened here. A guy drove a U-Haul van on the sidewalk. I mean, you know, terrorists, you know, they're looking for an opportunity like that. It's like, hey, there's more people on the sidewalk. That's where I'm going.
But the other part of the whole thing is, I cannot believe when the Cybertruck blew up.
Yeah.
And the explosion, the blast, it contained the blast instead of blowing outwards.
You know, I noticed something very interesting about that. Even at the end, as it was burning, and even after it was out, the tires were holding air.
Yeah.
And I've seen plenty of car fires, and usually as it's cooking, somewhere around the 5 to 8 minute mark, you start hearing pop, pop, pop. It's the tires popping. Those tires held air. So I wonder, they run flats? Or they're
run flats.
Are they nitrogen filled and nitrogen burns it all? I don't know what it is, but they will hold. I was very impressed with
But if you watch, and when that guy pulled up and underneath that under that tarmac or canopy there, and when that thing blew up and exploded, hell, it didn't even blow the glass out of it didn't even blow the glass out of the hotel.
No, I know.
Yeah,
that's an incredible part about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were talking about on the news that how it contained. It didn't. Yeah. It would have been a lot worse if it was a regular car.
He
should have used a Pinto. He would have had it like self ignition, you know.
Yeah. Try to find a Pinto to do
but he just has to back up and like hit the fire hydrant, and that would have been the pre-ignition.
Right, and it had explosives in the back in the bed.
Oh
yeah. Oh, he had mortars and all sorts of stuff back there.
He had all kinds of stuff. He had those He had a couple guns. Did you see the guns all melted?
I think the thing that's the biggest shame and the thing that bothers me most about it is that guy was a Green Beret.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, a Green Beret. I mean, what that? I mean, I understand the guy in New Orleans. Hey, listen, you're in with jihad. You've pledged your allegiance to ISIS. I got it. We know what you are. But this guy, what was his story? Like what?
Well, I don't know if this is true, but I heard today that they were in the same unit.
I did hear that on the news as well.
82nd Airborne.
Yeah.
They were both 82nd Airborne.
Boy,
That's a big unit, though.
Yeah, it is.
I'm out of it. What the hell went on?
Yeah, they're supposedly both at Fort Bragg together, or at the same
What
time.
What are you talking about, Papa Scroll?
I haven't heard of any of that. Of course,
Either-
I don't watch
either
the
one?
news.
Some guy drove down Bourbon Street after on New Year's Eve, on New Year's.
Right.
Drove down Bourbon Street, wiped out, killed 15 people and injured 30. Had a gun battle with the cops, and the cops killed him. They found out that he had an ISIS flag, and he had set off, or he had some IEDs, and that was. So then later in the day, they had a dude pull into Trump's hotel in Las Vegas in a cyber truck. He pulled in underneath the front door and set a bomb off inside the truck with him in it. And it blew out, but it was very little damage, very little. But the truck, the truck was melted. But it was pretty amazing how that truck absorbed all that energy.
Yeah, very much
And I guess Elon had a bad glass day when he said it wouldn't break the glass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because that truck blew up. I mean, that truck went up in flames. I mean, it blew up, and it did minimal damage.
Yeah,
and it was very surprised. Actually, even they had that new fire tarp. Did you see that when they put it out with they cover it and so forth?
Right.
So they're improving on battery cars.
I was thinking, it kind of reminded me of a welding blanket.
Yeah,
an asbestos welding blanket.
So, but they thought they might have been related, but they are finding some similarities between the two. Both guys were military. Both guys were in the same unit. Both guys had similar incidents in life. That's what they were talking about. How these guys, just get beat up with life and get disgruntled.
Both vehicles were rented using the same website.
Huh?
Right.
Both vehicles were rented from the same website.
It was like a budget rental kind of, budget website.
Yeah. They both got the same car. Yeah, it was kind of, at first, it was kind of.
We've been missing out.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but the latest update was the guy in Las Vegas killed himself before setting the bomb off.
Yeah, he shot himself first, as he detonated. But like I was saying before, with New York, it's a credit to the New York, to NYPD and to Homeland Security and whoever else is involved. That my theory is New York is so locked down, they know, let's just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So finally it paid off. Where between the cameras and all the other stuff, they had dogs, drones, you name it, they had everything out for New Year's Eve.
NYPD is probably the best police department in the world.
Yeah,
they can do everything.
That's what I mean. It's a testament to to the department and to the leadership, and that they chose to go to a place like, why go where it's going to be hard? Go where it's easy.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. So, and of course,
Well, that's why I like where we are up here. There's not anything going on up here. Nobody's tried to run anybody over or blow anything up.
That's good.
Yeah. And
here I have marauding gangs of bicyclists now that are like doing these riding. That 80 to 100 bicyclists, kids, are in the street. Just take over the street, and they were just by the radio station in Uniondale just today. And they kind of surrounded this guy in his rental car, and he didn't know what to do. So, and then a kid throws a brick at the where did he have the brick? But he threw it at the rental car and damaged it. And then they took off. They found one of these kids at the Roosevelt Field Mall riding his bicycle in the mall. And So everybody's freaking out because there's this kid riding in the mall, and there was another kid outside. They arrested him, and he's a minor. So I guess they're going to try and see what they could piece together, where these guys are from, what the hell they're doing. But
that sounds like San Francisco. They have the greenies ride down and block streets, and then if you're on the street, they come up to your car and kick your car and all that because you're polluting the air by driving your car in San Francisco.
Well, I don't know. They certainly could have taken the impetus from a group like that. I don't know. They don't know. They haven't broken the case yet. They haven't really gotten to the bottom of it, but it's been happening now the last few days. And I found something on Instagram. I sent it to my daughter because, she's out of state now. And it was I even said to my friend the other night at dinner, I said, we need to put like a cow catcher on the front of my FJ. And it's just like, plow them out of the way, And I saw this thing on Instagram today. It was from like the 20s. It looked like Buster Keaton. It was some old like Model T that had a big, like an inverted scoop on the front. And it ended up being, I guess, like a tarp. Because there was a guy on the street, and the car just drove up to the guy who fell on the tarp, and it just kind of blanketed him up and spit him out. I'm like, perfect. That's what we need for the bicycles.
Yeah.
Or a unit that shoots mace the whole crowd.
Oh, give them a little bit of the hot sauce, right? Bless them with the hot sauce.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
There you
I
go.
can't figure out when I was a kid. I never even thought of that. Never even did.
No,
dawned on me.
you tried staying away from cars because you didn't want to get hit.
Well, yeah, they're bigger than I am.
Right.
I'm squishy.
These kids are showing no fear. They're just literally riding right in the lanes of traffic and zipping around cars. And most people, the women out there, they're getting freaked out because they don't know. You don't want to hit these kids. I mean, I want to roll the window down and just like Brian's idea, punk. I
guess it was. I was watching. What was that? Penelope Pit Stop and the. And they had the gang. They had an arm on the side of the side of the car. They had a punching bag that punch him in the head.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, nobody's scared of being punished anymore.
Yep.
They're not. No, they're not. They're showing no fear at all. And the good thing is that here in Nassau we have a really good police commissioner, and we have a really good county executive who aren't going to stand for this crap. And once they do catch them, they're going to put them through the system. They're not going to let them go. They're going to really do what they can do. They'll use the highest extent of the law to.
Well, that's the problem. We got that. We have those jerk offs, or we have the same thing running around here, and like I said, the problem of it is that the system is just so overloaded. That's just like they don't even, it's amazing when you go into a Target or a Walmart or any store, and they just walk in, they take what they want, and they walk out. And it's like, well, why don't they say you have to wait because of all the cameras and they identify them, and then once they hit that limit, that's why they lowered to $250 is now a felony.
Right.
So once they get to that part, they give it over to a detective. Detective goes down, finds. They go over and arrest them, and they have it all laid out on. They just want you. Instead of stopping it now, they just let it get. And of course, now they tell their friends, "Hey, I did this," and then get caught, or they don't care. And next thing you know, you have 10 more people doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've covered that on this show before, which is a little off topic. But the thing I want to talk about, I want to switch it back over to some car stuff. How's that? Do a little car segue.
Yeah.
I was watching Tony DeFeo, Uncle Tony's Garage.
Yep.
He just did a video where he was talking about the price of parts, and he was talking about head gaskets, right? You saw that one?
Yep.
So he was saying, his idea is hoard everything you can now, store it up because, later on you'll be the guy that and I'm saying to him, Tony, Who are you talking to? I said, we already did it. We already ordered all this shit. It's like, I need more, I'm trying to thin the herd. But he was saying how on the new, there was a Hellcat motor.
Thanks.
He said their head gaskets are 200 and change a piece for the gasket.
Wow.
And they're back ordered. So he said if you had a Hellcat right now that needed a head gasket, you couldn't get one unless someone has one in a shop. And no shop, people aren't stocking them anymore. And if you wanted to stock up for later, you got to wait till the national shortage is over. But it's almost $500 for a pair of head gaskets.
You know that you say that, Ray, and I'm going to tell you something, okay? And this is another thing. And I just got them in, and of course I put them. For the rear end for my 9-inch, right?
Right.
I went and looked wheel bearings.
Bearings, yeah, right.
Bearings, right? Axle bearing, bearings for the axle.
Yeah.
I went and looked. The guy comes out, gives me some Chinese bullshit.
Oh yeah.
Wants my. I go on eBay and found
what brand is that?
CR, CR bearing. These are old. This is USA.
I'm not familiar with that brand.
Yeah,
okay.
These are 40 years old.
Wow, great. Nice.
And I know you can't see the label, but it's USA.
Good. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And so I did the same thing. I started digging through and I found a set of wheel bearings or axle bearings, I should say.
Right.
I did the same with the seals because I went up to the Napa and I said, "Hey, I got this 4 9-inch here, and the guy comes out with these axle bearings, and I'm like, dude, what is this?" And I don't know what he wanted. He wanted a lot of money and Chinese crap, and I was like, I feel.
Yeah,
but even though this has been sitting on the shelf for 40 years, but it's not rusted. I mean, it's not.
No, yeah. No, when I put I converted the brakes over on a 442, and when I took the rotors off, new rotors, so I got, I took the bearings out of the old rotors, and the first one side, the right side looked okay. It was, I cleaned them, it looked good. The left side, as soon as I took it out, I'm looking at it, I said, no, this bearing is no good. You can see on the cage of the bearing pock marks. And I looked closer, and that was a Chinese bearing. So somebody had changed that years ago. I said, you know what? Get me new bearings. And I said, I want but I found that even some of the bearing companies now, the names that we know, some of them are produced in China, and I had a problem with some of them too through the years. So if you can find new old stock, that's the way to go. But
the funny part is, I knew right off the bat, because what's the difference? This is wrapped in wax paper.
Well, like a Cosmoline type of paper.
Yeah,
right?
Cosmoline paper. This other Chinese thing was in a plastic bag.
Rice paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
hell, if it was in rice paper, it'd be from Japan. I'd take that over the Chinesium.
You're right. I would too. So it's very true. You got to be very picky. All right, Jim.
All right,
Take
Jim.
care, Jim.
Good night.
Later, Jim.
So you got to be very picky. You got to be picky with those auto parts, and you have to, you got to really be wary because.
I got, like I said, I figure if I have to go deep down and dirty into something, I'm not taking any of those chances.
Oh no. No, because you don't want to do now. Those bearings are pressed on the axles. So to change them, you got to disassemble and pull them off and repress. I mean, mine, like in my car, they're not. They lay in the housing. So, it's another step for you. But who the hell wants to go through that again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but like I said, there's just been after I've seen 4 or 5 different guys on YouTube and then building stuff and front wheel like wheel bearings, front wheel bearings on cars. I'm just dumbfounded that there's not more people. Of course, I know a lot of them are all one piece now, not like ours, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, these people put these cars together and they bring them back and double check, and you know the cages are all stretched out and the bearing, and you're like, man, that was one lap around the neighborhood for a test drive. Can you imagine saying, okay, come pick your car up and the wheel come? I mean,
yeah.
This stuff is really, really, I mean, you know, I don't mean to harp on it or people, but I'm seriously, we've really have lowered our standards with this such a high price. And just, I mean, somebody's really, really going to get hurt.
Yeah.
You know, there's going to be a real, and the problem is, it may not be you. It may be one of your, I mean, it could be some dude doing a car and your wife pulls out of the driveway and his wheel comes off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a real shame that we've let this get to this point.
It's true though, like we were saying, and even gaskets have really gotten to be very expensive lately, and carburetor kits. You know, I'm still doing carburetors for guys, and the last one I did that Holly Street Avenger, I went through Summit and I paid $62 for a Holly kit, and you know it was a great kit, but that's kind of what you have to do these days. It's the days of the $18 kit are gone.
Yeah, the stuff is just insane.
And I tell you, when my buddy at the shop, Mike, he had this rat rod years ago, and it had 2 Edelbrock carburetors on a small block. It ended up, and it ran like crap. And of course, it ended up that the back one, when I took the carburetor off, it was like a piece of sheet metal, a block off plate under there. I was like, oh, this is how the guy made 8 barrels into 4. So I said, okay, let me get some kits just to rebuild these things. He was going to take it to auction. He ended up selling the car. So I kept seeing coming up in my feed when I would search for the part number, the kit, I would get this Chinese kit that was like $13. It's like blister packed over a piece of cardboard. So I said, you know what? This is the perfect car to try it on. And I bought 2 kits. I put one in the one carburetor that was working, and it worked. The problem I found was, I took pictures of this too. You know, in the Edelbrock, some of the gaskets, they fit down into the body. And that's where the problem was. The gaskets weren't cut exactly concentric. They were a little off a scale, like a little larger. So I had to trim it with an X-Acto knife to make it fit perfect. And then I kept the other kit aside for years. And just this last summer, who the hell was it? Somebody needed a carburetor rebuilt on the cheap, on the quick. And I said, yeah, you know what? I got a kit. We'll use this one. And again, I used that kit in that carburetor and it ran fine. So, you know, the $13 kit actually did do a good job. But,
well, I'm afraid I blame the companies for not making sure that the people that they're buying their shit from are producing it to the specs they want.
The materials,
and if you
right.
if you let anybody, American, Chinese, Japanese, anybody produce something without following up on it, they're going to get sloppy. A lot of them are.
Well, the problem, we had the same issue. This was a while back ago. You know, when they say built to our specs.
Right.
And when the problem of it is that, and again, this is, not, reaping the profits over quality, just trying to make as much as you can and screw the quality. We had a problem where we had a company come in, they make our sockets for us. And we noticed about 6 months out, the sockets were coming back. We were doing a high rate of warranty.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is, if you don't say anything, when you just send them in, you have some guy getting paid, $19 an hour just punching in numbers to give you a credit. You know, he doesn't care, or he doesn't know, you know, but you're saying, hey, we're getting a high rate of these things back. So they took some of them, they took them out to a special, you know, just have somebody else do a metal test on them. And the manufacturer was trying to make more money. So they skimped back on from the first set that they gave us to test.
Right.
And it wasn't a constant test. You know, it's not like, okay, well, we're going to check you every couple months to make sure that you stay that way, because it's cost.
Yeah. You know, I worked at the electrical manufacturer in the 80s. We had a QA and a QC department. So there were double checks. Plus, we had our own test lab, and we did our random checks. I was in the electronics, and I went into the metallurgy lab, and we did our own independent testing to check for you know, that we were getting what we were supposed to be getting. And you know, that's how they kept the product, you know, in line and you know, doing the right thing. So they stayed on top of their game because of that. But
if you don't have somebody that can reach out and just pull something off a line and say, let's go test this and see what it works like.
Right.
And your ass depends on it.
Right.
That's what used to keep people much more honest, because I'm sorry, we've had people cheapening stuff since, hell, they've been putting cement and flour for years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, we had QA and QC, so it was, you know, double checks and balances, and you know, the way to do it.
And like I said, we've allowed for this to happen, and now it's just like, oh well, that's the way they do business, or that's the way business is. And it's like, man, somebody's really going to get hurt, or something's really, it's bad enough. I mean, you know, it's just like down here at Metro Center, you know, place that did the concrete work. You know, same thing. They did the concrete work, and you know, a couple months down the road, the concrete's falling apart. And you know, we're talking about holding the building up. You know,
right.
And they skimp and they just allow this. And again, it's a shame. You never
one
think
of the problems we were having in the Air Force, and that was minority companies.
Yeah.
You had to get a certain amount of ship from minority companies.
Yep.
Well, they rebuilt the runway out at Maelstrom. An Indian company did, because, you know, the Indians need to have they can't compete without help. Well, within a few months, that runway was falling apart.
Yeah.
The stones were coming up. You were getting a lot of FOD, and they had to close it down.
No drag racing on that runway, right?
Oh no. Yeah. And it just, to me, I'm sorry, telling people that you have to give your business to somebody that you don't know or don't trust, or you don't want to have it. Yeah, that might be the lower bidder, but the reason they're the lower bidder is why.
Yeah, it's really the basis of American capitalism. It's your money. You can spend it the way you want. But government contracts are another issue. Just like county contracts, they do stipulate lowest bidder. And of course, lowest bidder could also be lowest quality.
Yeah. Well, the other problem that I think it's become more of a sticking out like a sore thumb since COVID, but even prior to COVID, is people not wanting to work, not taking pride in their work, and not wanting to work.
Yeah.
The parts store that's nearby, and it's part of a big chain. I'm not going to say who, but this shop over here, several times I've gone in, and they say, well, yeah, we don't have it in the shop. It's at the warehouse store, which is about 8 miles away. And I'm like, okay.
The guys,
and then they just look at me blankly, like, go get it.
The guys at AutoZone tell me the same exact thing.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be. It's at the hub. We can have it here if we order it now. We can have it here by 4 o'clock this afternoon, unless you want to go get it. If you need it real quick,
Right.
All of a sudden they don't even offer that, and it's irritating. I mean, a couple of times I've gone down there, and it worked out for me in the sense of I had to go that way, but I was irritated that you could see the lack of care.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, last time I was there was a girl that used to work there, and she got employed. She left there. She was employed by the motor vehicle department. But I keep in touch with her because I had gotten her number several years back, because she was like, hey, if you need something, text me and I can start pulling it up. And if nothing else, I can message you and say, hey, we got to get it from the hub store. You don't have to make the trip in. I can get it ordered. And if you're right by that cutoff time, I can get it a little quicker for you. So I messaged her and I said, hey, what the hell is going on at this store, man? And the assistant manager, last time I went in, oh my God. I was like, and I texted the girl and I was like, hey, it's so bad. This girl is using, and you can see the she's got the itch. I said, she's whether it's cocaine or meth. I said, but she's displaying really bad.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So
I mean, and don't get me wrong, if somebody's got, they have a struggle, I do feel for them and hope that they get that taken care of. I don't wish bad on anybody like that, but it's all the way around, it's gone downhill. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is. So it's 10:30. So let me do a close real quick. Okay, everybody. I'd like to thank everybody in the chat from YouTube and Facebook Live. We do this every Thursday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. So please tell everybody that we hang out. We talk to businesses, builders, and manufacturers. And we will see you next week, 9 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday. Thanks. Everybody have a great night.